select any character, edit it. You have to change its editor ID to something unique. Remove the unique flag. Immediately hit OK to save the new character. And then you can change the other data. Remove all the faction. Remove the AI packages. Basically removing anything that's going to cause the character to disappear for what most believe is no apparent reason. Add back in a default master so that it can actually roam. Remove those items because it may be unique and cause drama. And save the character. Go back in just to make sure it's all done the way it's supposed to and it was saved correctly. Now we're going to drop 2 instances into Whiterun Plains District 3 right in front of Breezehome. Stuff that's in the way I just select and hit 1 to hide it all. That always pops up. This is just Skyrim that's loaded into the CK right now. Since I didn't generate the head meshes, it's going to have the gray face, gray head syndrome. That's what those texture errors are for. No big deal. Here I'm going to drop in a couple patrol idols and link them all together. I dropped 2 instances of the actor in there because in a little while I'm going to sub one of them out for a snipped clone of a completely different actor. Sometimes you gotta move them out of the way to select certain things underneath. Link the 2 markers together and then link the actor to one of the markers. And it'll just wander back and forth. I'm going to Control D clone these idle markers here. And hook up that second actor. And save it. Since those actors were purely cloned in the CK, that's what I'm going to name it. I'm going to make a copy to back it up so I don't alter the original file. Rename to Snip-clone. I'm going to load Skyrim.esm into Snip. While that's loading, I'm going to show you some of the data. This is total commander I'm using here to view it, the hex viewer. You can see right there, there's the header data, and that's right there. As you can see, it's compressed, and you can't really recognize anything until you get down to the world record. But the NPC record, it's basically unrecognizable unless you know how to uncompress it in your mind. But, now that Skyrim's loaded, scroll down, just pick any random character. I happen to know the ACBS flags, which one is unique. And since I'm going to fix this clone character strictly in Snip without even loading it in the CK, I wanted to pick one that's unique. Also, you have to change the form ID so that's unique. Change the editor ID so that it's unique. And that right there is the unique flag for a male. Remove all the faction data as we did in the CK. I'm going to remove all the items just in case one of them is a unique so that it doesn't conflict with anything. Those 3 sub-records of the items. Remove all the extra package data, the AI. And what I'm going to do is copy the one that I assigned to Avenici there, which is the basic master, the default master. And if you don't change the full name, you'll see those two ASCII characters in the game. But you have to add 2 zeros to the end of the end of the name, otherwise it won't register. And that character has basically been fixed now. It's usable in game. Copy the form ID to the ref. Switch that reference over. You can see it's been reassigned. Save it to something new, or since it's the same file, might as well just overwrite it. And then test it in game. Just COC in. Since we don't have to worry about any quest data or anything, we're just testing out a simple little mod for experimental purposes. And turn around, and there you have it. It works just fine. Choose there, and you can see the name that I gave him. It's all working just fine. Patrolling back and forth as they should. Now what I'm going to do is make another copy. Call it CK-load, because this file is going to be altered by the CK as soon as it's opened. As soon as I click on yes to correct the records, it's going to actually alter the data without me even saving it. While that's loading up, just pop that open there. Switch it over to the hex. You can see that it's uncompressed. Now you can read all the MPC data basically, at least I can. You go way down, you can see the other MPC that's been spliced in. And there's the prompt for the record count correction. Notice that it's still loading in the CK. I'm going to open that file. That's the first error that always comes up in vanilla regarding some kind of nav mesh error. That's how you know your mod is basically ready to load when that error shows. But now here's the comparison of the header. That right there is not the same as the one above. That 4-byte float indicates 0.85 file version, whereas the top one, the D7A3 starts with, is the 0.94 file version, and the record count was right after it. And of course it's still loading. I just noticed that my memory is 60% in usage. I forgot to close down the other instance of the CK, so might as well do that while I'm waiting for it to load. You see my memory just dropped down to 38%. It's on the bottom right corner, the blue. That program is Everest. Has my CPU usage, the CPU temperatures, GPU temp. And what I'm going to do now is save it after I make a copy of this so that we don't overwrite the one that I just showed you that has the 0.85 file version. Now you can see that there's that. It's been recompressed. Just rename it to CK-saved. You can tell by the file size that it's triple when it's uncompressed. Sometimes it's only double, sometimes less, but in this case it's triple. Still no big deal, 15K. As you can see, the CK corrected the file version. And in game, when I tested the file that was just loaded and not saved with the 0.85 file version, it still works just fine.